Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fatijlah binti Saifunisa. I'm from M380-220 Seat A. This video presentation for subject AGR Seat 57 Environmental Management in Plantation. So, I will present the title about utilization and sustainable management of water resource. For the introduction, water is source of life, livelihood, and prosperity. Water resources are natural resources we are getting it from river, lake, stream, and groundwater. Demand for water resource increased due to increasing economic growth. The agriculture sector has the highest amount of water consumption, which is 62%, while for the industry, 21%, and domestic sector, 70%. Malaysia is rich in water resource, but normally water shortage often occur in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, and Putrajaya because the city have high population and rapid development, which lead to the increasing the number of polluted river and damaging the quality of water resource. Utilization of water resources are used in agriculture, which is water is important input for living organism and economic activity. 98% of raw water resources are provided by river. So, agriculture sector consumes 70% of global fresh water, and the irrigation system is the most water consuming activity. Rice production is the crop related to high consumption. Irrigation water demand increased about 13.2 billion in 2020 because of the paddy irrigation and water demand from the industrial and domestic. FOA reported that 90% of global food production will increase in 2050, and improving agricultural productivity will enhance water use to increase the food supply. Okay, for the next slide is second water user domestic and industrial sector. Domestic water usage include water used for indoor and outdoor home activities such as cooking, drinking, watering the yard and garden. While the industrial sector is included in non-domestic consumption. Increasing water demand in this sector is also due to concentrating on generating hydroelectric power, navigation, and leisure activity. Okay, from the graph show the sector increased drastically, especially in 2020, due to growing population and industrialization. Next is non-consumptive user. Hydroelectric power generation, fishing, transportation, and recreation are examples of non-consumptive user. Hydroelectric power can provide 10% of the total national energy. Normally, river, lakes, and islands are the place for fishing sport, and it acts as a transportation for boat, ferry, and others. For example, in Sabah Sarawak, the river is important because it serves as river transportation due to limited road network, and it also helps to bring raw material or finished product from other country. Water area like sea, beach, lakes, waterfall, and river also popular for holiday destination, sport and hobbies such as picnic, kayak, canoe, and water rafting. Biodiversity, also known as water user. Biodiversity include all species of plant, animals, microorganisms, and the ecosystem depends on water to survive. The place of water resource is the habitat for the animal and plant. It can generate stability for the environment and increase the species diversity for the future generation. For the next slide is sustainable water resource management. Water resource development need to keep up with the rapid expansion in population, industry, tourism, and other economic activity in order to fulfill the rising demand for water. However, this activity will lead to the water shortage and water pollution. Water shortage occur caused by the excess use of water in agriculture, industrial, and domestic sector. These major sectors will discharge wastewater and create water pollution such as organic pollution, pesticide pollution, nutrient pollution, heavy metal pollution and others. The real case in China, they need to face water challenge due to limited availability of water and poor water management caused by pollution and lack appropriate water policy. So they apply a few sustainable management of water resource. Okay, in this slide show the management of water resource, which is conserving water and controlling the water demand. Water conservation is important to reduce water use, waste or loss. Most people thought water as a cheap resource that could be utilized indefinitely, and it has become the reason why people do not care or restrict their water use. This is a really harmful mindset that has to be correct, and the water demand should be managed to encourage people to utilize water wisely. Different water users will consume different amount of water such as household, hospitals and university. In Uganda, they apply TP-tap method. TP-tap method is suitable method for use a limited amount of water during hand wash, and it consumes only 60 to 80 milliliter of water. To conserve the water, agriculture sector can implement an irrigation system, and industrial sector can develop and use a cleaner production process to reduce water consumption and pollution. Okay, controlling pollution and using wastewater as a water resource and as an energy resource is the second management to sustain water resource. Cleaner production development and application are the most effective strategy for industry to reduce the resource consumption and the pollution output. In China, the country create ecological industry park to control the pollution. Industry in ecological industry park will create relationship with other industry, so that wastewater generated by one industry may be utilized as a raw material for by another. Converting wastewater into water resource and energy resource has the higher potential to create sustainable management of water resource. Reclaimed water that is converted from wastewater can be used as a water resource for agriculture, industry and domestic sector. Organic pollutant, fertilizer pollutant in wastewater can convert into energy resource and reuse as fertilizer. In Singapore, all the wastewater will undergo a few processes, which is wastewater treatment, recycling and partly reuse. Its water quality has also been proven to fulfill international water quality requirements. Okay, lastly, for the third management that can apply to sustain the water resource is preventing flood disaster using rainwater as a water resource. Collecting rainwater, or known as rainwater harvesting, can prevent from flood disaster and waterlogging. And the collected rainwater can be used for irrigation, flushing toilet, and road cleaning. So it can protect the water resource from river or groundwater to sustain for the future use. So, as the conclusion, water resources are a natural resource which is important for human, animal, plant and economic activity. However, a lot of demand for water supply can cause water shortage as well as create water pollution and wastewater. The sustainable management of water resource is important for sustainable development. The water pollution and wastewater can undergo a few treatments to convert into water resource, energy resource, and other kinds of resources. A few countries already implement the management and successfully achieved in reducing excess water utilization and has great result to meet the demand as well as prevent from water pollution. So I think that's all from me in this video. Thank you for listening and watching. Assalamualaikum. Bye bye.